Hello students, let's look into this question under balance sheet. From the following information, prepare balance sheet for the year ending 31st March 2018 as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Inventories 7 lakh, equity share capital 16 lakh, plant and machinery 8 lakh, preference share capital 6 lakh, general reserve 6 lakh, creditors 3 lakh 50,000, provision for taxation 2 lakh 50,000, land and building 26,000, cash at bank 5 lakh, 12% debentures 12 lakhs. So students, we know that we need to prepare balance sheet for the year ending 31st March 2018 as per the Companies Act 2013. So from the information, we have to categorize these items as equity and liabilities and assets. So the first item given in the question for us is all about inventories. Inventories will be written as it is in the balance sheet under the heading called current assets. Next we have equity share capital and preference share capital. So for these two items, we need to prepare note to accounts. That will come under the subheading called share capital. Next, we have plant and machinery, land and building. So plant and machinery, land and building, both will form tangible assets under the major heading called as fixed assets. So for this we will have to prepare note to accounts, followed by general reserve. So any sort of reserves will form reserves and surplus. So you have two options, students. If there is only one item, then there is no need to prepare note to accounts. Or if you are comfortable, you can go ahead by preparing note to accounts, note number 3. Creditors are considered as trade payables. Again, this is the only item given in the question. So you can either write it directly under trade payables rupees 3,50,000, or you can prepare note to accounts as note number 4. Provision for taxation. This will come under the subheading called as short-term provisions, and short-term provisions are written as current liabilities. So again, this is the only item. Either you can go with preparation of note to accounts, or you can write it directly under the heading short-term provisions. In bracket you can write provision for taxation, or prepare note to account number 5. Followed by cash at bank. Cash at bank is considered as cash and cash equivalents. We will write directly rupees 5 lakh. 12% debentures. Yes, these are considered as long-term borrowings. We can prepare note to accounts, note number 6. Let's begin with the solution, students. First and foremost, do the format of the balance sheet. Write it as balance sheet as of 31st March 2018. Particulars, note number and amount column. And then we will leave sufficient space in order to work out note to accounts. So from the question, first and foremost, we have inventories. No, we cannot write inventories directly. We need to follow the balance sheet format. So what do we write in the first category? We have equity and liabilities. So in the first category, we have equity and liabilities. Under this, we will write 1. The major head, what is called as shareholders funds. Under this, the subheading share capital. So from the question we understand, students, we have equity shares and preference shares. So therefore we need to prepare note to accounts. Note number 1 is for share capital. The first one is equity share capital, amount being rupees 16 lakhs. The second one is preference share capital, and the amount is rupees So we need to find out the total of share capital, which is rupees 22 lakhs. So let's come back to the format. Share capital, note number 1, rupees 22 lakhs. Next, we need to write reserves and surplus. So for reserves and surplus in the question we have general reserve. As I mentioned, student, if you have only one item, then no need to prepare note to accounts. What you can do is you can write it in bracket general reserve and you can write the amount, or you can have a safe mode of writing it as note number 2 reserves and surplus. Over here we have general reserve and the amount being rupees 6 lakh. So this is the final amount. So what you can do is you can come back, write it as note number 2 rupees 6 lakh. Both the methods are correct. Once we are done with reserves and surplus, now we have the second major head, what is called as non-current liabilities. So over here, students, we have 12% debentures, which is rupees 12 lakh. So we need to prepare note to accounts number 3, long-term borrowings, 12% debentures, 12 lakh. That's the final amount. So write it as A, long-term borrowings, note number 3, rupees 12 lakhs. The next major head is current liabilities. So for current liabilities, if you follow, students, we have creditors, which will come under the category called as A, trade payables. Again, what you can do is you can write it as creditors and write the amount, or you prepare note to accounts like note number 4, trade payables. Under this we have creditors and the amount is 3,50,000. So in that case, we will write it as note number 4, 3,50,000. Next, short-term provisions. So why short-term provisions? Is because in the question we have provision for taxation. Again, in bracket you can write short-term for taxation, write the amount directly, or let's prepare note number 5, short-term provisions. So we have provision for taxation and the amount being rupees 2,50,000. So note number 5, 2,50,000. So that's it with equity and liability. It is time for us to do the total. So start from 22 lakhs plus 6 lakh plus 12 lakh plus 3,50,000 plus 2,50,000. The final total amount is 46 lakhs. Now we have to do the second part, what is called as assets. So write Roman number 2, assets. Under this, the first category is non-current assets. Subhead fixed assets. Under this, again subhead, what is called as tangible assets. So students, we have two items. One is plant and machinery and the second one being land and building. So both will form tangible assets under the heading fixed assets. So therefore we will prepare note number 6, what we call it as tangible assets, that is plant and machinery 8 lakh, land and buildings 26 lakhs. So the total of this will be 34 lakhs. So let's write this 34 lakhs under tangible assets as note number 6, 34 lakhs. Now students, now that we are done with tangible assets, we need to write the next one, what is called as intangible assets. Though we do not have anything, we will have to specify this particular item in the balance sheet. The next one being current assets. For current assets, if you follow the question, the first item is with respect to inventory. So therefore, let's write inventories as given in the question, rupees 7 lakh. Let's write it directly. Then we have cash at bank. Cash at bank is considered as cash and cash equivalents. So write it as cash and cash equivalents. For you to remember, I'll write it as cash in bank just for reference. Okay, and the amount is rupees 5 lakh. Okay, so now we come up with the total of assets. So total of assets should be asset is equal to liability plus equity. So liability plus equity is 46 lakhs. Let's check the total of assets. So 34 lakh plus 7 lakh plus 5 lakh. The total is 46 lakh. So we have furnished the accounting equation. So that's it with the solution, students. That's what you can do over here is, in order to save the time, because this is just a 6-mark question, and if you just continuously keep on going preparing like this note to accounts, it's going to consume a lot of time for you. So what you can do is, if you have more than 2 items, like if you see note number 1 has 2 items, for this you can prepare note to accounts. Then if you observe note number 6, you have 2 items. For such items you can prepare note to accounts. Compulsorily you have to prepare note to accounts for a long-term borrowing. Okay. So if you go ahead with note number 1, 3 and 6 is more than enough. Whereas for note number 2, 4 and 5, there is no need to prepare note to accounts. Again, if you listen to the first explanation video, you can understand what is that I am trying to explain. So choice is yours, students. Either you can go ahead with preparing all the note to accounts, or you identify those items which has 2 items, then you can prepare note to accounts. Have a nice day. Thank you.